Welcome back to the channel, guys. Let's get straight into today's story. When we talk about power in Britain, few names carry as much weight as Rupert Murdoch. For decades, Murdoch hasn't just been a media owner, he's been a political player, a behind-the-scenes influencer shaping how politicians behave, how parties strategise, and ultimately how the public perceives the government. His newspapers and TV channels aren't just businesses, they're instruments of power, and their influence on UK politics cannot be understated. Murdoch's media empire spans tabloids like The Sun and broadsheets like The Times, along with Sky News and a range of other outlets. Each one has the capacity to shape public opinion, set political agendas, and elevate or destroy careers. What makes this particularly concerning is that this influence isn't always transparent. Editors and journalists may claim independence, but the patterns are clear. Politicians who align with Murdoch's preferred positions often receive favourable coverage, while critics or opponents are frequently scrutinised or attacked. Historically, Murdoch has shown he can make or break leaders. In the 90s, The Sun famously switched allegiance from Labour to the Conservatives, with the tabloid's headline on the morning of the 1992 election declaring, "It's the Sun what won it." The public may debate the exact effect, but the message was clear. Murdoch's media could shift the national conversation and influence voter behaviour. Similarly, his newspapers have often pressurised governments on policy, taxation and appointments, nudging the political elite towards its preferred outcomes. Now, beyond headlines, Murdoch's influence extends into the corridors of power. Politicians have been known to court his approval, attending private events, offering policy concessions, or shaping messaging to appease his outlets. This has sparked debates about media capture, where a single private interest exerts disproportionate influence over public policy. When a handful of newspapers and channels hold sway over millions, the question arises, is democracy truly operating in the public interest, or is it being filtered through the lens of a private media power? Of course, Murdoch's influence hasn't gone unchallenged. Critics argue that a free press is essential to democracy, but when the press consolidates in the hands of one person or corporation, it undermines pluralism. Investigations like the Leveson inquiry highlight unethical practices in tabloid journalism, revealing the lengths to which media power could be abused to manipulate political outcomes. The intertwining of political leaders and media magnates often leaves the public with skewed information, reducing transparency and accountability in governance. From a political standpoint, Murdoch's empire also demonstrates how economic power translates directly into political influence. Owning newspapers and TV networks provides leverage not just over public opinion, but over politicians themselves. Governments depend on positive coverage may avoid taking positions that could trigger criticism, and policy decisions can sometimes be shaped by the fear of negative headlines rather than merits of the issue. This dynamic is particularly troubling when it affects decisions on taxation, business regulation, foreign policy or social issues, essentially the building blocks of national life. Even today, the Murdoch influence remains tangible. Sky News, owned by Murdoch's company, continues to shape the political narrative. His newspapers regularly comment on elections, party leadership challenges and scandals with a tone that subtly nudges public sentiment. While some readers may believe they are consuming objective news, patterns in coverage show preferences and bias aligned with Murdoch's broader worldview. Political leaders, knowingly or not, often adjust their messaging and strategies to avoid becoming targets. In the broader context, Murdoch's story is a cautionary tale about concentrated media power. Democracy thrives on diverse perspectives, checks and balances and accountability. When a single figure can shift through elections, frame debates and influence policies, it raises questions about fairness and representation. Ordinary citizens may feel their voices drowned out while the power operates in a feedback loop, reinforced by media amplification. Understanding the Murdoch influence is crucial for anyone following British politics. It reminds us that political power isn't only about elections, legislation or party leadership. It's about who controls the narrative. In the UK, the media and politics are intertwined in ways that ordinary voters often don't see, and Murdoch's empire is a prime example of how influence can extend far beyond the ballot box. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want more honest political commentary and don't want to miss what's really happening behind the headlines, hit that subscribe button and drop your thoughts in the comments below.